Almonte's Key Food, proudly serving communities throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island for over 30 years. When you shop Key Food, you'll always find fresh products, great weekly specials, and exceptional personalized service. Visit at any of their Key Food stores at 8235 153rd Avenue, Lindenwood, New York, 935 Rosedale Road, Valley Stream, New York, and 6620 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
May I read you something that I've been working on for a very long time? I know it's been kind of frustrating for me as well, but I'm about to drop it. This whole Gavin Newsom book where he makes all kinds of weirdo mistakes. He says he's coming clean about who he is, and he's sorry for being somebody else, for being a phony, but he's not. He actually just celebrates being a phony in the book. So at this point, I'm winding up the piece, and I write this. At this point, you may be wondering whether I have devoted an unreasonable amount of attention to Gavin Newsom's memoir. Fair enough. Most politicians write books. Most are forgotten almost immediately. Why spend so much time on this one? Well, partly because Gavin Newsom may become president of the United States, but more importantly because this book is unusually revealing. Newsom presents it as a personal account of who he is and how he became the person he is today. Whether he realizes it or not, he succeeds. The book reveals a great deal. In fact, it reveals far more than Newsom appears to understand. And that is what makes this book important. The longer I spent with the memoir, the more I noticed a recurring habit. Newsom rarely leaves a thought in its natural state. He enlarges it, he decorates it, he elevates it. Early in the book, he writes, I am writing this from a time and place where the seasons have already begun to lose their capacity to tell us what time and place it is. A few paragraphs later, California's problems become calamities that have challenged the very notion of governments. Describing the demands of public office and parenthood, he writes, a life where my every movement as father and governor can feel orchestrated. Discussing his childhood, he explains that his father's presence was episodic. Now, none of these examples is especially significant on its own. Together, however, they reveal a pattern. The seasons do not merely change, they lose their capacity to tell us the time. Government is not challenged. The very notion of governance is challenged. And this tendency becomes more revealing, all right, and more revealing. Now I got to skip a little bit. So there comes this point where he says, my grandparents live far away, and that resulted in a paucity of memories I have of them. That is the consequence of this geographical distance. Now that claim is quite clear. Newsom is telling us he remembers relatively little about his grandparents. Yet what follows is one of the most detailed memory sequences that I've ever read. He remembers his grandfather sitting in a throne-like chair reading cowboy paperbacks. He remembers curling up at his feet. He remembers conversations, games, gifts, cigarette brands, the beige Cadillac they would drive around in, specific stores, restaurants, specific streets, specific stories. The memories continue for pages. This is not a paucity of memories. It is an abundance of them. And that is why this passage matters so much. The problem is not the word paucity. The problem is that Newsom appears not to recognize the contradiction. He announces a shortage and then supplies overwhelming evidence of the opposite. The memoir itself becomes the rebuttal. A man who may become the president of the United States writes that he possesses a paucity of memories and then spends pages demonstrating that he has not. This is brilliant stuff, by the way.
Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.